yesterday I said I'm not going to mention circles again for a while because we're working on completing the square. Well, now that we can complete a square, we're going to pull back in the whole circle idea, and we're going to use completing the square to write circles in the equation we know. Because right now, like, that is the equation of a circle, but does that look like the equation we know? What's the equation we know? No? Think about a circle, remember? Yeah, it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Remember? Okay, it's that one. Oop. Right? Okay, so right now, that just looks like a mess. Doesn't look like an equation we could write as that. But by completing the square, we're going to be able to get it into that format. So the first thing you're going to do is get all the x's together and the y's together. So I'm going to move this -8 over here, and I'm going to move the y over there so that I have all the x's together and the y's together. Okay? So the first step is rearrange to group the like terms. So I have x squared minus 8x plus y squared plus 2y equals -8. And all the constant numbers are over on the right. So if you have any like 7s or 15s laying over here, subtract them out and get them over to the other side. Okay? Now, after I get all the x's together and the y's together, I'm going to complete the square twice. Once for the x's, once for the y's. Okay? So let's do the x's first. We got x squared minus 8x. Now I have to figure out what that third term is going to be. So I take half of b, which is -4, and square it, 16. So I'm going to add a 16 in there. And just to keep the equation balanced, if I add 16 to this side, I have to add 16 to this side too, right? Okay? And then I'm going to figure out what I need to complete the square with the y's. So I take half of b, which is 1, squared is 1. So I'm going to add a 1 for this one. Okay? It's because because which one? These two? The one, it's a positive. So if you take half of 2, get 1. 1 squared is +1. So you add it. Yeah. And actually, you always add it. So, all right. So the next step is complete both squares. Okay. So I get x squared minus 8x plus 16 and y squared plus 2y plus 1. But again, to keep that equation balanced, I have to add both my new c's to the right-hand side. Okay, and I can actually combine those. -8 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So you don't have to write those separately either. You could just write them as 9. Okay, so I have 2 perfect square trinomials and an answer. All right, and then the reason I even want perfect square trinomials is because I can factor them into one binomial squared. So I'll have a binomial squared there, and I'll have a binomial squared there. Okay? So what would this one be? X minus 4 squared and y plus 1 squared equals 9. Okay? Now, does that look better? It looks more like the equation of a circle, right? So in this circle, what's the center? Right, 4, -1. And what's the radius? 3. So from that equation, I can graph the center, 4, -1, and then up 3, left 3, down 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2, 3. So there's my equation, my graph. Kind of cool, huh? Are you laughing at me? I think it's kind of cool. All right, so let's see if you can do it. Do we need to see the steps or do you write them down? Okay, here's the equation. See if you can follow the steps. And so I graph negative 4, 7, and then I go up 5, right 5, down 5, 5, and left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And draw in my circle.